When Meghan Sussex, the Duchess who has become synonymous with modern elegance and entrepreneurial ambition, launched the latest iteration of her lifestyle brand at the As Ever pop-up in California, few could have predicted the storm it would stir. The event, set against the charming backdrop of Godmother's bookshop, was intended as a simple celebration of curated goods, artisanal products, homewares, and the kind of boutique items that have made Meghan's brand resonate with a devoted following. Yet, as promotional shots circulated of beautifully arranged bottles of wine and sparkling drinks alongside her products, the event quickly attracted attention of a decidedly less flattering kind. Reports emerged that local authorities had been contacted over alleged alcohol sales, thrusting the pop-up, and Meghan herself, into the crosshairs of scrutiny that seemed disproportionate to the occasion. It is a familiar pattern for Meghan Sussex. Every venture she undertakes, whether public or private, appears to attract a chorus of criticism, often from those whose motivations seem rooted less in civic concern than in envy. The council report, while presented in a formal procedural language, read more like a reaction to her growing success than an impartial assessment of legality. For a woman who has navigated the intense glare of the media for years, facing disparagement at every turn, this episode felt emblematic of the persistent resistance she encounters when achieving visibility and acclaim. Meghan's pop-up, instead of being celebrated for its creativity and appeal, was met with suspicion, a reminder that her accomplishments are often overshadowed by the scrutiny of detractors. The As Ever pop-up was meticulously curated, reflecting Meghan's well-documented eye for aesthetics and her commitment to quality. Promotional images depicted products displayed with care: wine bottles nestled in wooden crates, fizz resting elegantly on ice, artisanal goods thoughtfully arranged. Every detail reinforced the brand's identity, marrying sophistication with accessibility. Yet these same details, which would likely pass unnoticed in the hands of any other entrepreneur, became points of contention when associated with Meghan. The allegation of unlicensed alcohol sales, while technically serious, seemed to many observers less about compliance and more about opportunity, an opening for critics to assert themselves, to signal disapproval of a woman who continues to thrive on her own terms. The phenomenon is hardly new. Meghan Sussex has consistently been the subject of intense public scrutiny since stepping onto the global stage, her every move dissected for hidden motives or supposed missteps. The pop-up incident fits neatly into this narrative, illustrating the delicate balance she must maintain between innovation and public perception. While other business figures quietly navigate the nuances of compliance, Meghan's ventures are subjected to a magnifying glass, often coloured by the biases of those eager to see her stumble. In this case, what was likely a proactive or even playful display of lifestyle products became fodder for reports, and inevitably, headlines. Despite the sudden attention, the response from Meghan and her team was measured, reflecting the grace that has long defined her public persona. Rather than reacting defensively, she allowed the situation to unfold with the confidence of someone secure in the legitimacy and appeal of her work. Observers noted that this calm response contrasted sharply with the frantic reactions of those seeking to challenge her. Where critics moved swiftly to involve authorities, Meghan focused on the experience itself, connecting with her audience, showcasing her products, and demonstrating the care and consideration that underpins her brand. The difference in approach underscored a key aspect of her appeal: resilience in the face of criticism and an unwavering commitment to her vision. It is worth considering why an event of this nature might provoke such a reaction. For some, Meghan's presence in the entrepreneurial space challenges conventional expectations. Here is a woman whose public life has been the subject of relentless attention, yet she channels that visibility into creative ventures that resonate with a growing consumer base. Success, in this context, can be threatening. The council report, framed as a concern over compliance, can also be interpreted as an extension of the envy that has long surrounded her, a mechanism for those who would rather see her constrained than celebrated. Indeed, the timing of the complaint suggests a correlation with her brand's momentum. Sales and interest in Meghan's products have surged in recent months, and the pop-up represented both a tangible and symbolic manifestation of that success. It is not unreasonable to infer that some of the scrutiny stemmed less from regulatory diligence and more from discomfort with her rising influence. Critics, unable to compete with the authenticity and resonance of her offerings, may have seized upon the opportunity to draw attention to a minor technicality, transforming a creative endeavour into a matter of formal complaint. From a broader perspective, the incident highlights the challenges faced by women in business, particularly those in the public eye. Meghan Sussex's experience is emblematic of the obstacles encountered when visibility intersects with ambition. Every achievement is amplified, and every misstep, real or imagined, is dissected. The Council report, while ostensibly a matter of procedural concern, becomes a symbolic battleground, illustrating the tensions between innovation and public expectation, between personal initiative and collective perception. For Meghan, navigating these dynamics requires not only business acumen, but also the fortitude to withstand the scrutiny that accompanies prominence. What sets Meghan apart is her capacity to transform such challenges into opportunities for visibility and affirmation. The pop-up, despite the controversy, drew attention to her brand, sparking conversation and interest in ways that traditional marketing might not achieve. Rather than diminishing the impact of her work, the scrutiny inadvertently amplified it, drawing new eyes to her products and reinforcing the narrative of Meghan as a figure who thrives despite adversity. In a sense, the criticism serves as a barometer of success. The greater the resistance, the more profound the resonance of her ventures. Observers have also noted the importance of context in understanding the Council report. Pop-up shops, by their nature, involve temporary setups that can complicate regulatory compliance. For many entrepreneurs, the nuances of licensing are navigated quietly and without fanfare. For Meghan, every procedural question becomes a headline. It is a reminder that her public profile transforms ordinary business realities into matters of public debate. Yet, rather than retreating, she embraces the visibility, using it to underscore the creativity and care that define her brand. Her response exemplifies a modern approach to entrepreneurship, one that integrates public engagement, media literacy, and a steadfast commitment to quality. The narrative surrounding the as-ever pop-up also reflects broader societal patterns regarding success, gender, and visibility. Women who achieve prominence often face scrutiny that extends beyond the parameters of standard evaluation, and Meghan Sussex's experience illustrates this dynamic vividly. The Council report, while ostensibly a legal or regulatory matter, functions in the public imagination as a proxy for broader judgment, a way for observers to assert control or signal disapproval of a figure whose accomplishments challenge entrenched expectations. For Meghan, this is not merely a legal question, but a cultural one, highlighting the intersection of enterprise, media, and public perception. Ultimately, the pop-up incident underscores the resilience and adaptability that have become hallmarks of Meghan Sussex's public and professional life. The event, designed to showcase creativity, curation, and quality, became a flashpoint for discussion and debate, yet it did so without diminishing the appeal or integrity of her brand. Critics may attempt to frame scrutiny as legitimate concern, but the underlying narrative is clear. Meghan continues to inspire interest, engagement, and admiration, even in the face of attempts to slow her momentum. Her ability to navigate these challenges with poise and effectiveness reinforces her position as a leading figure in contemporary lifestyle entrepreneurship. The story also illuminates the ways in which public perception can be manipulated by narrative framing. By presenting a Council report as a scandal, critics create the impression of impropriety where none necessarily exists. Meghan's response, calm, focused, and unapologetic, disrupts that framing, demonstrating that legitimacy and intent matter more than the noise of commentary. In this sense, the incident becomes a case study in media literacy, public relations, and the management of reputation in an era of instantaneous scrutiny. Meghan Sussex exemplifies how strategic communication, authenticity, and grace under pressure can counteract attempts to diminish impact or influence. In conclusion, the As Ever pop-up in California stands as a testament to Meghan Sussex's vision, creativity, and resilience. What might have been a straightforward celebration of curated products instead became a focal point for scrutiny and complaint. Yet it also reinforced her relevance, appeal, and the authenticity of her brand. Critics and council reports may question her choices, but the broader response, from loyal supporters and curious consumers alike, speaks to a figure whose achievements inspire admiration rather than suspicion. Meghan's capacity to transform public attention into an affirmation of her work exemplifies the skill, foresight, and composure that define her career and public persona. In a landscape where visibility often invites judgment, Meghan Sussex continues to thrive, proving that success, creativity, and integrity can coexist, even when faced with the inevitable interference of critics and detractors.